Okay, we appear to be live. Let me just double check. Oh, message from Asmogan. Oh. Hey, Asmogan. You there, Asmogan? I can't really hear you.
Yeah, anyway.
How you holding up?
Holding up as best I can at the moment.
Yeah. For those of you who aren't aware, Osmogon isn't. Apparently, he's a little under the weather. He just got done with a stream on his end, so if you guys are interested, I would recommend checking out his channel. By the way, it's pretty good. But yeah, he's back. We are, of course, going to.
This won't be the best advertisement for that, but I assure you, I sound a lot more energetic than I'm going to today.
He's apparently, yeah, he's, like I said, a little bit under the weather. Brother Olay says hello. Okay, what is that front cover? It is the sort of front cover that you'd expect from a certain genre of anime, we will say. A certain subgenre of a certain genre of anime. Seeker says, good things come to those who are patient. Sorry about the delay and all that. Richard Valdez says, oh shit, here we go again. Yep. Alfarius says, help me, I've started playing Morrowind again, and I've started downloading mods. I have no more life. I sold it to Todd Howard to buy Skyrim, ported to my soul. Yes. Alright, so he says again, help, I have no life. I sold it to Todd Howard. Okay.
All cut up in the chit.
Yep. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started, shall we?
Ready then.
So this is issue number 4. Just came out earlier this month, so yeah, we have the opportunity to see where the High Republic itself finally goes. Yay. Oh, by the way, Osmogon, did you hear the news regarding this comic, the other comic?
I have not.
Apparently Disney is optimistic about how the comics are going, so they've decided to extend them. So we're now getting a bare minimum of 10 issues of both the High Republic and the High Republic Adventures.
I guess that's what happens when your head is so far up your own ass you can see into your throat.
Ah, yes, but wait, there's more. Because it turns out they're also making a manga as well.
If they're making it, it's not a manga.
They're calling it a manga. Apparently they've gotten some...
They can call it whatever they want. They're not Japanese. Ergo, it's not a fucking manga.
Well, the Japanese are doing the artwork, but apparently it's getting written by an SJW. So Japanese artwork mixed with SJW writing. God help us all. Brother Ole says, ha.
Greatest crime to Japan since Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't you put your beautiful artwork on top of this god-awful, horrendous writing?
Alright. Fabio says, hello, hello, yes, I am here. Ah, welcome aboard, Fabio. We are just about to start the fun, I guess. So, I believe I was voicing the girl here, right? And you were voicing Skeeve, or not Kiva, but the dude here?
The lizard dude, yeah.
Alright. Karima, the mid-rim, 6 years ago. I won't be able to make it.
You will make it.
It's too far. I'll fall.
You will not fall. By prior apology, being sick, I don't think I'll be able to do any voices.
That's okay. We understand. You got more lines at the bottom, though.
You need to visualize yourself landing on the other side, the ground beneath your feet. The Force is with you, Kiev.
He always believed in me. Alright, so Alfaria says, oh my god, it's evolving. Yes. Yes, it is. Even when I didn't. always knew what to say. The legendary skier. The renowned tactician. No! Everyone reading this comic, yay!
Yeah, she's about to die.
Respected Scott. Wait, did they? Okay, I'm sorry. I just got reminded of something else. Respected scholar. Ah, my master. Always there to catch me when I fell, to put me back on track. I'm sorry, master.
The writer for this comic. Do you get it? She's literally falling, and he's literally catching her. It's a It's a visual metaphor. Ha ha ha.
Oh yes, how brilliant.
Slow clap.
Stunning and brave. All right, so I believe you got some lines there.
Do not apologize, Padawan. There are no shortcuts on light's path. We strive, we repeat, we succeed. Now, shall we try again?
He was my rock, my universe. All right, so let's see some more of the comments here. Alfaria says 2003 Clone Wars calls bull. Fabio says, you mean devolving. Yep. Brother Lay says, I think the voice you are using, Asmogan, actually suits this comic. Inedible Grob.
Being sick works for something.
Inedible Grob says, sounding board fits the character. Alfarius says, it's like when people cheered when Thanos beat up Captain Marvel. Yep.
Yeah.
I actually saw a video, someone just edited it so it was just that over and over and over again. Brother Olay says, once you catch your Padawan, stick them in the cannon. Yes, we would all like that.
Launch them into space where they would die, and we will not have to be forced to read this monstrosity.
But unfortunately, there are now 6 more issues that we have.
Yay.
How could it have gone so wrong? Are you voicing this girl here, or was I voicing?
I believe I was voicing the blonde chick.
Okay.
Kia, what are you doing? Release us.
Sedri Minor, the Galactic Frontier. Now. Well, we already know where this is if we've read the comics.
I think at this point they're not even trying.
I have to wonder if they... Wait, does this mean that they didn't actually expect their own comic book readers to read the comics?
I think at this point they just expect someone to jump in issue to issue. It's like, it's like, it's not like it's a flowing story and narrative. No. Just jump in wherever the fuck you want. We'll fill in the blanks, supposedly.
All right, so it looks like you've got quite a bit of a monologue between yourself. So, yeah.
The Drenger must feed, Marshal. We must feed. Listen to yourself. People are going missing on this planet. The people you promised to protect as a Jedi before you allowed yourself to be corrupted. Is this why you cut yourself off from the Force here? Is this why I couldn't hear your song? You talk too much. You will be silenced. Avar Chris, always so convinced that the galaxy dances to your tune. You say you want to understand. You say you wish to know. Then for once, you must truly listen. Listen to the song of the Drengia. Oh shit, there's more of it.
Yeah.
Others saw our power and reaped alongside us, working together for the greatest gain. But nothing lasts forever. Soon they will betray us.
You missed a whole bunch there, actually, on the top left.
Oh yeah, I think I'm reading the wrong direction here. See, this is what happens when you read manga. Read from left to right instead of right to left. Well, the other way around, whatever. Yeah, sorry about that. Once the Drengia spread across the galaxy, feasting on flesh and bone wherever it was found. The harvest was abundant, the harvest was plentiful. Others saw our power and reaped alongside us, some working together for the greatest gain. But nothing lasts forever. Soon they betrayed us, as was their nature. Soon they paid the price. Fearing what they could not kill, they plotted against us. They trapped the first of us within their totems, forcing her to sleep. And while the great progenitor slept, we slept also beneath the ground. Until travelers stumbled upon their progenitor, waking her from her slumber. And the implication is some dumbass Jedi woke her up, so pretty in line with the Jedi to be the cause of every problem so far,
Yep.
according to these comics.
So, Brother Elay says, now that you have your Jedi Master, twist their neck to make them the unalive. Fair enough. You got one more line there.
Waking us all.
Starlight Beacon. As if we already don't know what the Starlight Beacon is at this point.
But I don't know if you're seeing this as well, but on every page there's hide.
Yeah, that's... ignore that.
I don't know what that's about.
Akos Kovac says, can't you read it like Cobra Commander instead? Well, he's actually a little under the weather today, so... Not
really. I would honestly love to do the voices and have fun with this, but I'm not feeling great at all. So all I can do is apologize.
Sorry about that, yeah. Alfaria says, so I have no idea what the story is. Anybody willing to explain? Yeah, they traveled to this planet, which is basically a planet that's filled with weed. I call it weed because it's a plant-like substance that alters your mental state. Wink, wink. So, yeah. And... Brother Olay says, worst garden plant ever. Akos Kovac says, not so alive. And apparently, the Sith tried to utilize it, but then they betrayed it, and then they sealed it away until the Jedi, being Jedi in the High Republic, stumbled across it and set it loose by accident.
Mm-hmm.
Still not quite as bad as deliberately sending an army of space locusts to destroy a planet to test a Padawan, but yeah, that's still another screw-up to attribute to the Jedi. Fabio says weed planet, indeed. Akos Kovac says you feel unalive. Yeah, that's probably a good description for how Asmogan seems to be feeling today.
Yeah, I would say it's a fair descriptor.
All right, so were you voicing the demon-looking dude, or was I doing that?
I believe you were voicing a demon-looking dude.
Archivist Orbalan, are you making progress? Since you're not feeling that well, I'll voice this guy. It is a fascinating specimen, Maru. Absolutely fascinating. While the Hutt endured great trauma at the hands of the Nihil, its demise was not the result of its injuries, nor nagnal poisoning for that matter. Instead, its entire system was infected. Infected how? Do not concern yourself, Ro. Kantaros and I are following strict quarantine procedures.
Okay, that doesn't answer the question, though.
No, it doesn't.
He's just infected. How? And apparently his quite legitimate response is, do not concern yourself.
Yeah.
What? Am I missing something here? I feel... I feel like that's not how you respond to your superior officer.
No,
assuming
no,
there's
no.
any kind of hierarchy here at all.
Yeah, that genuinely makes no sense. Akros Kovac says Planet Hentai. Alfari says it would be cool if they found a Death Stick smuggling ring.
No, because you see, that would be them writing something other than this garbage.
Mm.
It's like, hey, let's call back to some of the stuff that isn't actually all that bad from our past. No. We're our own thing with all the edgy, stupid haircuts, completely brain dead plot points, and soulless characters we can possibly shove in it.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so do you want to voice the other two characters, the other two Jedi, or should I voice them?
I could try. Which doesn't stop this from being totally disgusting. Not the time, Impri. I'm sorry, Vernestra. Jeez. But how did these things get into a Hutt's veins?
That is the all-important question, Padawan Kantaros. They appear to be part of a root system, the likes of which I've never encountered before.
Yeah? Then here's something else to chalk up to experience. Our Hutt.
Crick!
It's alive. That's impossible. It can't be.
It's not. The cadaver is infested. Oberlin, what is happening down there? I believe our quarantine measures are about to be tested to the limits. So why on earth is he in a biohazard suit, but not the two Padawan?
Because it's the Jedi of the High Republic and they're not very smart or consistent. And at this point, they've literally to test a Padawan to make them a Jedi. They nearly sacrificed an entire culture. Okay, so this is lower on the scale of stupidity, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
This is more in line at this point.
Well, yes and no. Yeah, actually, wait. Yeah, it is. It is less. Feraldo says these Jedi create more problems than they solve. Yep. Brother Lay says, ooh, don't concern yourself. What could go wrong? Yep. Oh no, what a twist, says Brother Lay. Yep. Alfaria says these Jedi act like they are FBI crossed with the Inquisition, but they're as effective as the ATF. Oof.
To all Fabio, the ATF agents who may be listening, here's some ice for that burn.
Fabio says, this whole virus bit reminds me of something. Yes, it does.
What could it possibly be?
Are they saying that weed was really the virus all along?
I just scrolled down real quick to check the comments. The first one is, I'm loving this series and how it's showing lots of characters from High Republic novels. Oh! Those last pages were so exciting, and gosh, the art by Ario and Nindito is so stunning.
Stunning and brave. Keith was like, cool arm dude there for a second. Seeker says, the Golden Age, the ruling power goes out of its way to get you killed. Yep. Alright, so let's actually continue. Master, listen to me. The new arm looks great, really viney. But you are not one of these creatures. You are not Drengir.
The Drengir. The Drengir have made me whole.
Your real arm will grow back in time. Whatever else is hurting you, we can work it out together. There are no shortcuts on the light's path. Do you remember? That's what you taught me. That's what I still believe. Why, I still believe in you. Were you voicing the bald guy, or was I?
I know I was voicing one of them.
I guess, well, since you're not feeling that well, I'll voice this guy. It is hopeless, Keeve Trennis. We haven't seen this reaping. We We have seen the reaping the Dringir survive. Sorry, let me try that again. It is hopeless, Kiev Trinus. We have seen the reaping the Dringir survive. Come what may, Master Skier's already lost. As are we all.
Feed, feed, feed. I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going.
This is exactly... Yeah, that is pretty much exactly what I thought when I first saw this. Brother Olay says... let me see. Brother Olay says, reading the comics cocks the bolt pistol. Fabio says, now I was thinking of something more recent. Akos Kovac says, wait, they hung him up like a Yuzevong torture device. Mm-hmm. Brother Olay says, made them whole by filling his holes. Dear God, how long until they start protecting the weed?
Jesus.
Master, please. Whatever happened, whatever they promised you, you don't need to do this.
That's just it, my former apprentice. I did need to do it to understand the true nature of these beings. And understand their weaknesses.
Scream!
What a twist. He's actually a good guy. I can't do that now with my throat.
Sorry. Alfarius says Sneed. So they took the kid for some reason, but left the Jedi and Padawans there for some reason. Okay. Alright, so it looks like you got more of a monologue between yourself.
Cough. Scare. Forgive me, Marshal. I thought I was strong enough, but they all almost overwhelmed me.
No, you were stronger. The Force was stronger.
The Force, Kiev. There is much I need to tell you these last weeks since the Battle of Kerr. I am glad you are back with us, Master Skier, but your confessional will have to wait. They still have the boy. You gotta love how they drew this, trying to make it as epic as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But if you read up to this point, it does not feel epic at all.
Nope.
It's just meh.
Alfari says, what a twist. A individual naming themselves National Socialist German KK says, who is from Axis country, Till, or say a certain phrase that will probably get you demonetized, let's be honest. Inedible Grob says, maybe Jedi taste bad. Well, then why are they constantly consuming Jedi, or trying to? But yeah, Brother Lay says, wait. Did we skip a page? Page 14, page 13. Nope. This is exactly what it's supposed to be. We did not skip a page.
As I have continued to say about these High Republic comics, they have no flow between the panels.
Akos Kovac says, build up, who needs build up? Alright, so you got more lines there. Asmogan.
Then they will feel the heat of my blade. Rah.
You're still connected to them. We need to get those vines out of you.
No, they are part of me now, and I am a part of them.
No.
Oh, wait,
sorry.
that's right. No, the harvest must be ours. Now, Kiev, while they cannot move, do what you must.
Taking life is always the last resort for a Jedi.
Right. That's entirely what these sets of comics have told us. Do you remember what we covered last week for the High Republic stuff?
Buckets of blood has arrived on the scene.
Yeah. And all the poor bastards they murdered there. They didn't really try diplomacy with much of them. So
Nihil exists, Jedi. Peace was never an option. Sorry. Taking life is always the last resort for a Jedi, but the dark side must be pushed back wherever it is found. I mean, are we sure these creatures are actually dark side creatures? I know they teamed up with the Sith, but the Sith betrayed them.
No, didn't they betray the Sith? I don't know. It's kind of confusing.
Yeah, Alferi says, I need him. National Socialist German dude says, can you block me, please? I mean, I
mean, I'm assuming it's somebody who wanted to be blocked, considering their choice of profile pic and their first statement ever. So I'm assuming they have a reason to want to be blocked.
I'm promote free speech, so say whatever stupid nonsense you want, basically. So I probably won't be repeating it from the chat, but yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they're someone who wants to be blocked, which tells me one of two things. One, they're one of those SJWs on Twitter who are doing everything they can to be as overtly horrible to get blocked. That way, when they change their profile and everything around, they can claim they were unjustly blocked by ACE 1918. Or it's somebody else who gets off on getting blocked. I don't know. Those are the only two reasons I would think someone would do that. And otherwise, I'm not sure why you would want to be blocked.
Well, can you tell me real name is... Yeah, well, here's the thing. What's amusing is that the National Socialists or the Nazis would not actually call themselves Nazis. They were historically called themselves just National Socialists. That was the original name that they would go by, and they never actually called themselves Nazis. They always called themselves National Socialists. So that's another thing too. So anyone that just says that they're a Nazi, chances are don't even know really too much about the ideology itself and how utterly insane the ideology is. But yeah. Akos Kovac says, man, get rid of this dude. He's trouble. He might be trouble. Who knows? Actually, let's be honest. He most likely is trouble, but eh.
No, we'll give you that impression.
Fabio says, of course they say that hypocrisy is a must for an SJW. Yeah, Brother Ole says, hypocrisy, we don't fight. It's our last resort. Immediately starts killing. Yep. Alright, so let's go ahead and actually continue this comment here.
Yeah.
And that goes double for the scum maggots that do its bidding.
What did I tell you? Are you listening to me?
Please, Cal, we meant no harm. Ugh.
No harm? You blabbed to the Jedi, and now they're sticking their high and mighty noses where they don't belong. You know the rules, you know how this works, and now you're going to pay the price. What the?
Alright, so it's more lines from you.
Cal Summon, we need a word. I've nothing to say to you. It wasn't a request. Stars End, what happened to you? As if you don't know. This is why you didn't want us on your Force-forsaken world, isn't it? You knew the Drengia had taken root.
He doesn't want them to know about his weed plantation.
It's like, you burnt your fascist, man. I'm doing nothing wrong. Tell us the truth.
I believe you also got the R line, too. Remember who you are. The Force is with you. We are with you. What's a Drengia?
A terrible danger.
Starlight Beacon to Chris. Come in.
This is Chris. Can this wait tomorrow? We're dealing with a situation.
As are we, Marshal. Starlight is under attack.
Isn't the station like a week old? And isn't this bad PR? Like week 1 already under attack from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like that's an issue. Also, one of the Padawans has a purple lightsaber. Unless my canon is wrong, as far as I'm aware, Mace Windu is the only one to ever have an amethyst blade.
Yep.
Is that magically not canon anymore?
Apparently not, but you know how Disney is with canon these days.
Yeah, I think it's a swear word where in their offices. Feed.
Druck, Marshal. So we got another character here. We have company. I guess I can voice this person, whoever this is. People of Century Minor, we have come to deliver you from tyranny in accordance with our bargain.
Bargain? What are they talking about? I still don't know what a Dranger is, but boy, are you about to get a lesson in real power. Are we gonna get Sith?
Not quite. It's not going to be anywhere near that interesting, sadly. I'm going to let you...
Ignite your saber, Keeve.
Are we expecting a fight?
You could say that.
Taking a life is a last resort, everyone.
Yeah, fuck diplomacy.
Roar!
What in the fucking hell am I looking at?
Rejoice, wretched creatures. Your planet is now property of the glorious Hutt cartel.
Where do I even begin?
Remember when Luke single-handedly destroyed a Hutt cartel?
Yep. The Hutts aren't... Okay. Okay. I'm too sick for this. Alright, so the Hutts they don't work like they've never worked like this. The Hutts as we've seen them in the original trilogy and in the prequels and in the Clone Wars cartoon and in every EU book have been consistent. They've always operated the same way. They aren't planet conquerors. They're businessmen.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they see themselves. Yeah, they are running illegal business. They are running illegal stuff, and they do have their own currencies they work with, and they are very much a cartel. But they're underhanded, they're not overhanded. They don't conquer worlds. They don't show up with a military force and wipe out all dissenters. If they show up at all, it's because they've already bought and paid for the place. The local government will still pretend to be in control, and the Hutts will let them. But they'll just arrive, pretend they're setting up a business venture, and then they'll never leave.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they work. They're not. They're very much based off of A, cartels, and B, mafia. They don't have these open wars. They're not their own actual soldiers and military.
This
is completely foolish if what they're setting up is that these guys are coming to a planet with a bunch of rancors and in a fucking hut wearing armor and weapons, showing up seemingly leading a conquering fort. That's not how they work.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, this is completely anti-Hutt cartel behavior. This is ridiculous.
I mean, even to use something from the EU, even the Zon Consortium acts more like how you've described than actual open conquerors constantly, anyways.
Yeah. And Optimus Jedi put it best. The Hutts are gangsters, literally from episode 1.
Yeah.
Exactly. That they've always been gangsters. They're criminals, but they're not a military. They're not a nation in and of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They are on a financial level. They are on a resources level, but they never want to be an open power in the galaxy because they don't like to operate like that. They'd rather manipulate the system in their favor than craft one of their own.
Mm-hmm.
This is completely wrong in every way. It's not even interesting. It's not even an interesting idea. It's just wrong.
Agreed. So at least that's the end of the issue, right?
I assume so. Is there another page? No, yet to be continued.
So I think, yeah, that's the end of issue 4 of the High Republic. I'll just read some of the comments where we left off. The National Socialist dude says, I want to challenge you in General's game. I don't really play much multiplayer, so I'll turn that down. Optimus Jedi says, oof, high and mighty, eh? I think this guy missed the first issue. Yep. Earfar says, looks like a malformed bulldog. Mm-hmm. Brother Olay says, my brain actually hurts from these time cuts in this comic. If it can be called a comic and not toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, toilet paper had better value, at least last year, than this. Brother Olay said, this is more on the level of Venezuelan currency, really. Brother Olay says, wait, are they swapping the lizard man's arm? I think it's the arms on the same side, but yeah, he's got a new arm. Optimus Jedi says, Lol station instantly under attack. What is this, Babylon 5? Earfar says, nah, Raven used to wield a purple one, but Disney haven't heard... Revan used to wield a purple one, but Disney haven't heard of Legends. Brother Olay says, Battletoads the
I know,
edition.
the reason I didn't factor in Revan when I said that is because I was going based off of Disney canon.
Yeah.
Which is that Mace Windu is the only one to ever wield an amethyst blade. For we are including Legends, then yes, you're right. Revan did also wield a purple blade. Mm-hmm. Technically, he's wielded every color under the sun, but let's not get into
that. Brother Lay says, Battletoads, worst edition. Earfar says, what? Hutts never go out and start shit themselves. Correct. Inedible Grob says, Hutts and armored rancors. This is trying way too hard to look cool. Earfar says, they send minions. Brother Olay says, Hutts have owners, have others do their dirty work for them, but nope, one army of rancors. Optimus Jedi says the Hutts are gangsters, literally from episode 1, which you've already covered. And Optimus Jedi says, I remember when Al Capone invaded Puerto Rico with an army of enforcers riding on horses. I mean, ridiculous. The thing is,
I know this is... go ahead.
I could actually point to historical examples where shit like this did happen. Historical examples, not with Hutts or any aliens, obviously. But you did have, in the 19th century, you had the filibusters, which were basically private armies that would decide to just randomly invade Central American countries that were in the middle of a civil war and just take over briefly. And
if you want a naval example, you can look at the privateers, which were were technically unofficial. They were what, for those who don't know their history, privateers were former Navy sailors that the British government hired to raid French and foreign naval ships and merchant ships, and whatever loot that they acquired during that wartime was the British government got, I think the percentage cut was like they got 60% and the crew got 40%.
Well, that's
and then once the whole privateering thing died down, though, because whatever war was going on during the time ended, I believe that was the I won't say what war exactly. I'm not sure. It was Britain and France were involved. I know that, but that's nothing new in their history. But once privateers were then I guess you could say unhired because the conflict was technically over. They then decided, hey, we already have the ships. We already are good at this whole raiding vessels thing. So let's become what we now know to be pirates.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Edward Teach became Blackbeard. It's how we got a list of other well-known pirates. So
I think Captain Kidd was another pretty famous example too. Now that you mention it. Fabio says, at least this comic is good for one thing. making me appreciate all the past Star Wars content. Here's another good example, though, by the way, of although those were ships and admittedly they weren't capturing entire countries or trying to capture entire countries. They were seizing ships and looting them. This
they did
more...
seize. They did. If we look at Edward Teach in particular, though, he did actually seize a coastal island colony.
Okay, fair enough on that one. Yeah,
but it wasn't permanent. He seized it because he just wanted to extort, believe it or not, medical supplies. Because at the time he had his own fleet of pirate vessels, and he wanted to. The one supply that they were lacking most was medical supplies at the time. So they literally held this colony hostage just to basically steal all their medical supplies, and then once they had them, they left.
I actually have a really funny example, another funny example if you want.
Sure.
The time that in the late 19th or the mid to late 19th century, the Irish a bunch of Irishmen decided to invade Canada to try to take it over and ransom it in exchange for Irish independence. No shit, that actually happened.
Knowing the Irish, yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
And the thing is, they actually did way better at that, or they got way closer to actually succeeding than they should have, because they actually beat the Canadians in open battle. And the Canadians were ultimately saved by the British sending reinforcements.
Ironic.
Yeah. Optimist Jedi says Sir Francis Drake took over a city, so that speaks to the privateer example. Yep. I suppose you could also consider Madame Chang, I believe her name was, which was a pirate queen of sorts that had hundreds of ships or something like that under her.
Pretty much all the major pirates, like as we know them, at least every single one of them at least took a city, took a colony, took an island at some point. That's what I think helps push one of the higher tier pirates to being more significant, is an act like that. I mean, all pirates raided vessels, so that wouldn't have shot your reputation to the point where we still remember your name. But capturing an entire colony, in Edward Teach's example, Madame Chang, an entire island, the biggest pirates did the most unthinkable shit despite their lack of resources.
Mr. Corgi says, big brain play. Brother Lay says, okay, answer me this. Can Rancors be trained? I thought they were very wild and dangerous.
As far as I understood from Legends, no. They were kind of like wild dogs that you could let off a leash. You really couldn't train them. And they had trainers or handlers, that is true, that they did respond to, but it was more like they imprinted those individuals as like their parents or so. But actually recognizing and obeying instructions, I don't recall that ever being an EU thing.
You know,
might be in one of the video games. I'm just not thinking of it.
But... didn't Empire at War kind of have something like Rideable Rancor in it or something?
Possibly, but I'm not sure if that's considered lore accurate or if it was just a mechanic for the game.
Let me check. I know there was, like, I know one of the characters for a fact did have a, one of the characters did have a pet Rancor named Cuddles, which is hilarious, and I love it.
Of all names.
And it was actually a trained one, but apparently, okay, so it might be a case where it's a unique...
What I will say is Rancors are incredibly rare.
Yeah.
That's why when in Hutt culture, when they acquire a Rancor, it's considered a status thing. Like, hey, I have a Rancor. Like to other Hutts, that's like, oh damn, that's somebody not to fuck with. They got one of the big things. Younger aspiring Hutts typically won't have one. It's not like they're gifted one the moment they start their own little gang.
Okay, so there are Rancor mounts. That was actually a thing it was actually a thing in Legends. So apparently that was a legitimate thing in Legends. So it looks like you could train at least some Rancor.
I can't imagine it was easy.
I mean, to be fair, in this, they're also showing them being used as cavalry as well, so. Brother Lay says, because I bet it will be a bitch to place those pieces of armor on them. Yeah, I suppose it would be...
Without getting eaten? Probably.
Yeah. Optimus Jedi says, the courtship of Princess Leia had Force Witches riding Rancors. Okay. Earfire says, what about that Night Witch from the Zon Consortium campaign? Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Jacob Kennedy says, what is this shit tier art? It is Marvel. It is official Marvel artwork. People were paid for this artwork. Optimus Jedi says, also Cuddles was awesome. Yes, Cuddles was awesome. But yeah.
I have a boat.
Yep.
Pretty much.
But yeah, I think, well, ultimately though, but let's go ahead and get into our thoughts on this comic. What are your thoughts, Asmogan, on issue number 4?
Increasingly more and more garbage, shockingly. And I thought it was as bad as the last one of this particular series, not factoring in the other garbage one. The one with buckets of blood. Just this series here, I thought it was just as bad, but not any worse than the previous one. But that twist at the end with the Hutts, that was, yeah, no, that dropped it down a lower tier for sure. This is worse.
Is it worse than issue number 1?
It also just narratively doesn't make sense. Just put aside the fact that from what we know of the Hutts, that this is not how they fucking work.
Yep.
You put that aside, they're kind of over cramping the number of enemies they have to deal with here. Like, why are we adding the Hutts on top of the plant people?
And the Nihil as well.
You know, like, why are we adding all this? Like, one villain at a time? And fine. Worst case scenario, let's just say we have 2 antagonistic forces. Fine. Why, though? Like I'm not sure. Like, why this feels so kind of shoehorned in, and I'm not sure why. This doesn't make sense to me.
Because they wanted, I guess it's because they wanted an enemy that was not as commonly seen.
But there's a reason that the Hutts aren't typically shown to be an enemy. Because morally speaking, they're not enemies of the Republic. They're not allies of them either. They manipulate and control their system from the shadows for financial gain. They're neither good nor well, technically they're bad for sure, but they're not a dark side evil force. They're not a light side good force. They do what benefits them most.
They're basically what you get if you took the Ferengi from Star Trek and made them more morally flexible.
And yeah, pretty much. I mean, Ferengi's a pretty good example. I mean, can you imagine the Ferengi putting together a giant military force and conquering a planet controlled by the Klingons or controlled by Starfleet?
I mean,
that's not how they work. They like to sell weapons to people. They like to manipulate the economy. They definitely break the law. But the thing is, that's not how they enjoy manipulating the rules. They enjoy working with them and playing the system for their own gain. But they're not conquerors. That's not what their thing is. They don't enjoy that. For them, that's way too many expended resources and not enough gained by the end.
Or to quote them, there's no profit in this.
Exactly. It's all about the profit, and that's very much how the Hutts work as well.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it is as bad as issue 1?
I'd say if it's not as bad, it's worse.
Wow, that is. I mean, wow. I mean, given that issue 1 started out, and issue 1 started out by making the Jedi worse than the Sith.
And yeah, but this is trying to tell me that the Hutts are now like the Sith.
Yeah.
For me, that's just as stupid.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And literally, it feels like they are like. To me, it comes off like they were told, "Hey, we can't have the Sith in this because the Sith are always the bad guys. We want to be something different. What's another thing in the universe that we can use as bad guys? Oh, the Hutts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, you can use them as bad guys, but how do we use it? Oh, we're gonna write them exactly like the Sith. Oh, okay, so why the fuck are we not just using the Sith?
That's a very good question. Let's see.
If you're gonna present a threat like on the level of Sith, the Hutts are a good source, but the problem is they aren't that kind of threat. They're not the kind of threat that faces you in open combat. They're a much more complex one, technically speaking. So
Mm-hmm.
there's plenty of intrigue. There's plenty of great stories they could tell with the Hutts being the main bad guys, but it's not they. You can't tell it like an open warfare story like this. It would be more like I'd
That's
say I'd compare it more to something like Narcos. Like the police trying to track down and prove the guilt of a bunch of organized criminals,
Yep.
but constantly being sidewinded by their own systems, which allow a lot of complexity in the conversation of like how much freedom and all this other crap. There's so much interesting stories you could tell with the Hutts being the bad guys, but
Mm-hmm.
not like this. This is a complete stain on Star Wars, and it's so insulting.
Yep. So let me
Yeah,
read.
like a crime novel.
Yeah, let me
Like a
read
first.
some of the comics here or comments. Mr. Corgi says it's not the worst start I've seen. I'll be fair. It's passable, not good, not bad. Passable. Yeah. Mr. Corgi says at least with this page. I haven't seen the other pages. Brother Olay says I'm still going to say it. Call in the Mandalorians to cleanse these Jedi. Herdsman says honestly can't tell it the difference in style between this and the Calgar comic. When is he showing up?
Yeah, it's just the same people.
Presumably when he finds out that the Jedi are secretly chaos worshipping heretics, which we found out in the High Republic Adventures. Mr. Corgi says, "Gas Disney and Marvel not giving a damn about or not knowing about the lore? Impossible." Mr. Corgi says, "Hutt space is just mafia turf when the cops are probably part of the mob. They're bad, but but they bring order. They only keep order because chaos isn't profitable. There are exceptions, of course." Brother Olay says, "And even the Ferengi like their friends to help when it benefits them." Or
Exactly.
yeah.
And I would definitely say the Hutts would see more profit in having a Jedi having actually multiple Jedi owe them a favor.
Mm-hmm.
They would see more profit in that than killing one. It's like, hey, let me kill this Jedi. Okay, what resources did I waste on that? Versus, hey, this Jedi is in a little bit of trouble. Why don't I offer assistance and be owed a favor?
Mm. Alferi says, like a crime novel. Optimus Jedi says, think about how interesting it would be to have all outside threats handled, and now the Hutts are an internal enemy. That would be so much more fascinating. Yes, it would
Exactly.
actually. My God, this is
That's
a
what I
missed
was trying to
opportunity.
say.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying this is, if not as bad, it's worse. Because they've completely killed off such a potentially interesting and fascinating source of stories
Mm-hmm.
just by making them some kind of open, maniacal enemy like the Sith, which is
Mm-hmm.
not how the Hutts work.
Son Modeus Kringle says, Marvel better not touch Abeloth. Brother Olay says, or Calgar will join the Jedi. Oh, dear God. Oh, God, no. No.
How can you guys make me feel worse than I already do right now? Like,
Herdsman says, so Calgar would jump in from light speed on a Stormhawk, kill the Jedi as he praises their gods. Oh, God, that's painful, but it's also funny. Alright, so Yeah, I definitely can see what your point is about the missed opportunity. Yeah, that's a huge, huge screw up on their part.
So much that could have been done.
Yep. So, as things stand now, which is worse, this or High Republic Adventures?
At least the art, as bad as it is consistent. And I would say the other one's worse.
Yeah.
And this one's just a amalgamation of unironic jokes and memes to be fed from, and it's got a terrible story, terrible characters, a plethora of missed opportunities. But it has some consistency at least. The
Yeah.
other one, the art style, the other one is just painful to even look at because each page is a completely different art style for a character.
Mm-hmm.
Half the time, only very basic features are you could tell they're the fucking same character as the previous panel. So artwork at least is consistent, and on top of that, the story from the previous one is happening so quickly and so all over the place and jarring that I can't keep track. At least with this one, I can keep track because it's technically speaking just one direct stupid story.
Mm. So, which these two comic book series do you think will first let us see Geode the Rock? Do you think it'll be this one, or do you think it'll be High Republic Adventures?
I thought that the whole Geode thing was going to be part of like their own comic, like another third series they're doing.
It's actually a
But
book that's part of, but
I'd
but
say we'll probably see a cameo from Geode in this one before we see it in the other one. But
mm.
I'm acting like these are predictable.
that
And that's not a
would
compliment, by the way.
that would require some predictability. Would require that they actually understand the lore. Um, let's see. So, all right. Alfaria says, "Shut up, Wally." Punches Ilian. Mr. Corgi, sorry, says stuff like this is why I'm writing my own sci-fi universe. Make it a TTRPG, then I don't have to worry about the stupid people making stupid stuff I like this. Yep. Brother Lay says,
Hey, we're in the same boat, man.
"Yep." Brother Lay
I'm
says,
still working on my own grimdark.
"Yep," and it'll be interesting to see how it turns out when it finally comes out.
Be
Brother
a while.
Brother Lay says, "Where are the good writers and artists? We need them." Fired by Disney and Marvel for wrong think, because creativity and free thought are bad things.
Well, I hired, to speak to the good artist thing. I got my artist who works for me for my sci-fi unit, my grimdark sci-fi. Hold on, let me. Uh, that's a good concept that I could share.
Optimus
And
Jedi says, "Damn it! Imagine the Hutts undermining the Republic from within, making the Jedi look bad, weak." And then the two hidden Sith seeing it as an opportunity to move closer to taking over, slowly moving to Episode 1. Yeah, that could have been a really good idea. DY says, "The likes of story group people don't strike me as the sort that would appreciate subtlety." No, because everything has to be political. There always has to be an agenda. I mean, you saw the game. Has everyone here seen the game called Our America and how subtle that is?
yeah, I just shared with you via the Discord a couple examples of like what the artist who works for me for my grimdark,
Mm-hmm.
like that's examples of his work. So I could say I stole one good artist from Marvel, probably.
Yeah, these look pretty promising. I will definitely say that.
Yeah, Scarlet Games, by the way, is my studio
Ah.
that I started. So
Nice. Mr. Corgi says, "I can't wait for the fucking Rock. I want a series only about the Rock." I unironically think Geode is the most interesting thing coming out of the High Republic. That's the sad part. A literal rock, a part of the scenery, is more interesting than the characters that actually are supposed to have a personality in this. That is how far Star Wars has fallen under the watchful eye of Disney.
yep.
Mr. Corgi says, "About as subtle as a corn berserker charging, I'd say." Yeah. Yep, exactly.
It's like I wonder what's happening. Open your eyes.
Well,
You'll
I'm
see.
going to, I think, though, this is a good time to call it. So, yeah, ultimately, a terrible, terrible comic.
God awful.
And now, thanks to Disney's efforts, we're not even halfway through. We were almost done until they decided to extend it to another 5 issues at least. And I look forward to them turning this into 15 and then 20 issues, presumably.
Oh joy.
Well, anyways, but yeah, I think this is a good time to call it. So, this has been Ace.
Asmogan.
And we both hope to see you again soon. Take care. Ace out.
Bye-bye.